So as the alt-right tries tooth and nail to get Dan Harmon fired, drawing comparisons to Dan Harmon with Roseanne, with her Spurg bit, which I do believe was brought about by drugs, but it's irrelevant. It's irrelevant because this proves there is no inherent difference between the alt-right and the liberal left. Like, both are liberalism in the Marxist sense of the word. Um, and any decent leftist knows this. Any decent leftist knows that the parallels between the right and the left of capitalism are almost indistinguishable at times. They might have subtle differences, but at the end of the day, neither one of them is going to get you what you want or what you need. And what aggravates me is not the inherent flaws of capitalism. I don't give a shit about people. I could care less if you starve to death, if you die in a ditch, if you have to work a dead end job. I really don't care. I hate you. But what pisses me off is there is no moral foundation. None. None. When it comes to this liberalism. There is a difference between a moral priority and a lack thereof, where it might be different from your moral priority. Our morals might be different, but we could both have distinct moral values. But liberalism does not have that. See, Dan Harmon and Roseanne both try to advocate that they have some semblance of a moral, root, but they don't. Because if they did, they would not let this kind of shit fly. It would not be beneficiary to them, to their constituents, to their investors, to anything. People need liberty. People need choice. People need purpose. And you are not providing them with liberty, choice, or purpose. So what are you left with? What are you left with? All you got left is the fucking Nazis, and the pedophiles, and the drugs. And then you get upset about it. Spoiler alert, you're all Nazis. You're all pedophiles. You're all drug addicts. All of you. You're all degenerates. Doesn't matter whether you participate in the sexual debauchery. Doesn't matter if you participate in the swastikas and the Pepe memes. Doesn't matter if you participate in the heroin and the overdosing. It doesn't fucking matter, because at the end of the day, you're all liberals and you all amount to pretty much the same thing. And, it leaves you jaded and wondering, as someone with an IQ of over 280, you have to be to watch Rick and Morty, why even fucking bother getting upset about it? Why even bother talking about it? Because, I don't think Dan Harmon should be fired. I didn't think Roseanne should be fired. And it wouldn't be right and it wouldn't be fair if both of them were fired, because all that's going to create is chaos where everybody's fired for some bullshit or another. Everyone has done something that upsets somebody else. Every single person. And we come back to the whole moderator thing, because that's what moderators are all about. Moderators exist because somebody somewhere is upset because somebody else is shitposting. So they run to a moderator to dictate the shitposting. But that doesn't mean shitposting is going to end. It only controls the narrative down to a shitposting they prefer. And then you end up having a circle jerk, which is so much worse than the shitposting itself. And you have all this chaos, all this debauchery, all this unholy bullshit where, it's only the deranged, controlled narrative that the moderators have prescribed, but then they don't want to take liability for it. Because, like, you go on Reddit and, let's say, incel tears, or brain cells, or any group, and they don't want to take the legal liability for the bullshit they created, they know they created, they're responsible for it, but somehow they want to control everything. It doesn't work both ways. It doesn't. And, so brain cells, yes, they're responsible for every time some fucking Asperger goes on a school shooting rampage and posts about it. Incel Tears is responsible for every time some fucking normie cunt decides to go on a crusade against other supposed incels and doxes them and bullies them into suicide and shit like that. They're all responsible because they control the narrative. They control the website. They control the message. They should be liable. That is just common sense. That is just rationality. But nobody wants to be rational because that's a moral imperative. A moral imperative is, A, we should have some kind of semblance of why we do what we do. No, they just want their fifis, and they want the good that comes out of the end result without any input or any value what they put in. And then they wonder why everything is shit. You don't have anything. You don't have anything to preserve. You don't have a culture. You don't have any civil liberties. You don't have any free stuff. What is there left to defend under this system, under this narrative? What? What are you so worried about losing? I don't understand it. Like, even if, let's say, Dan Harmon did get fired, what is he really losing out on? I don't know how much money he makes making Rick and Morty, but I guarantee you he could probably make about the same amount doing anything else. Because it's stupid. It's all fucking stupid. There's no value to anything. You don't really get anything out of the effort you put into it. Um, so all Dan Harmon's gonna do is what he does now anyway: make pedo jokes and fucking die of a drug overdose, just like every other American. So it's really retarded how they put so much passion flailing around angrily about this, and meanwhile nothing comes out of it. Nothing was put into it, so nothing's gonna come out of it. And I really don't know how to end the video because how do you end that? How do you end knowing that you are staring at a pure void that is American liberalism? This neoliberalism is a pure fucking void. There's nothing to contribute, nothing to uphold, nothing of value to be won or lost. And then people wonder why there's a bunch of Nazi drug addict pedophiles everywhere. Gee, I can't imagine why.